Hello and welcome back to the Video Automation Blueprint course. This full course is going to teach you how to make money from YouTube channels without actually showing your face. So the link to the full course is in the description of this video, so make sure you check out the full course there. But in this module, I'm going to show you the different types of videos you can make for your faceless channel. So let's get right into it. So the first type of video you can make is a combination of a voiceover, so the audio is a voiceover, someone speaking over the track, either you or an outsourced voiceover artist, and then you're showing on screen a mixture of stock footage, so stock videos, fair use YouTube clips, text effects, and there's some editing to kind of mix them together, so it's kind of a combination. So this is the most common type of faceless video that you can see on YouTube. So remember, you can use either your voice or an outsourced voice for this. So that's what's someone's explaining something and you narrate over these images, videos, and animations with your voice. So you can kind of mix them up as you wish. But this is ideal for storytelling, documentaries, educational content, tutorials, entertainment, anything, pretty much any video you can make from this kind of combination. So what you need to do is focus on high quality stock footage that matches the narration. And you combine that with interesting text effects where the text is sliding on screen, disappearing, new ones are coming. So that's kind of keeping the audience engaged. And what you need to really focus on here is powerful script writing, which you can find a module on in this course, and a good voiceover. And this is quite easy to produce. You'd be surprised at how easy these videos are to produce, because you just think of it in stages. You've got this voiceover, and then you've got the effects that you want, which you can choose, or you can let someone else kind of decide, make that decision for you, like your editor, for example. And you can even edit them yourself. So, but you get the best success when you have someone professional put it together, because you'll actually be amazed. I've actually been amazed at some of the stuff my editors put together. Just make sure that you've got a high quality audio recording, and you're good to go. So I've got a couple of examples here to show you of YouTube channels. So I've got the actual videos here. So this is an example. So you'll see here, I'm not going to put the volume on here right now, but if you click through this, you can see that this is stock footage. It's got a bit of editing, got a bit of animation there. It's all mixed together, right? So they've got a little bit of animation, a stock image. They're panning a stock image. They're showing an animated image, a random animated image. They've got some clip art. They've got stock footage here. They're mixing it up, and the video is 15 signs, you're an INFJ, so this is a personality type. But you can see that a video doesn't have to be that complicated. You can sometimes have an image and you're panning across it, and you mix that up with text on screen, animation. So this was a really good example, and this video has got 11 million views, so clearly it was good enough for the viewers and obviously good enough for YouTube to really push out there. So you can see this is really simple animation. It's not very difficult to do. And you know, it just kind of displays what's being spoken about on the video, and then you've got some text effects here, and that's really what I mean. So we'll stop having a look at this one and look at the next example here. Here's another example, and these can be very varied, so it's really what you make of it. So you can see here's a text effect. It's panning out to an image of a video. This is image from probably not stock footage, but it's probably fair use YouTube clips that they've used of Mark Zuckerberg and Warren Buffett and all those guys. So you can see this is an image. They're just panning out. They've got some drone footage here, which is probably stock. Probably some YouTube footage here. You've got some stock images here that's probably stock as well. Then you've got some fair use YouTube clips. So you can actually, we'll talk about fair use in later modules, but you can see here that they've really just panned this together to turn it into a video with some nice editing. And you can see this has got 8.1 million views at the moment, which is amazing. So again, this is good enough for viewers to watch. Clearly viewers are sitting back and enjoying this, watching this, and it's good enough for YouTube. So that's one type of video you can make. Now the next part is animated videos. So I'll move my face over here. And what you can do is actually create animated stories or informational content, and you can use software like Adobe After Effects if you want to do it yourself, or the more common version would be, I'm assuming the majority of people watching this don't have a lot of animation experience, they can actually go and get this outsourced, and this is quite easy and fairly cheap to produce. So this is great for storytelling and also explaining complex topics. So let's say you're talking about science or chemistry or economics or money or something that really confuses people. It's like finance or something that is difficult to understand. I saw a crypto channel the other day, and they did a really good job of this. So they took a crypto concept and they kind of animated it to make it easy for normal people to understand. Or you can just create entertaining content as well. And the thing is, this is very customizable, so you can do whatever you want with animation. You don't have to rely on a stock footage of something happening. You can actually just create what you want to see. And it's got a ton of high engagement here with animations because the content is fun to watch. It's kind of like watching a cartoon in some ways. And outsourcing this, of course, is really easy to do with places like Fiverr and Upwork. But we'll go through this in a separate module. And it's a bit time consuming. It takes a long time to kind of come up with a good animation, but it results in really good, unique content. And I'll show you a couple of examples here. So here's one example. Move over here. So this is a channel called Psych2Go. I covered this in my niches video, and this video has got 15 million views. So one of the top videos on their channel, and it's about 6 signs you're burnt out, not lazy. And you can see here, this is really simple animation. It's not anything. It's not like Pixar level, right? It's got some animation, some text, and it's just one. I mean, this animation is just moving in 2 directions, right? It's just 2 movements. So this would be pretty easy to produce. If you went to Fiverr and asked someone to go, I want this kind of animation, they would find it quite easy to do. There's some very skilled people around. And as long as there's good narration over this, they're going through a story, they're explaining a concept, then this is all it takes for people to watch. And again, like I said, you've got to remember, this is good enough for YouTube, and it's good enough for all the viewers that have watched it, for the 15 million people that have watched it. They've clearly watched it long enough for this video to go to so many people, because YouTube wouldn't really recommend it and put it out there unless it was going to a lot of people and people were watching it through. So this is one example of an animation. So I'm just showing you that it's not actually as complicated as you may seem. Here's another one from TopThink, and this video had 92,000 views, and this is an example of an animation, a simple animation. Extremely simple animations here, and they've just interspersed some text. I mean, this is really easy to produce, this kind of thing. There's software that can actually do these kind of things, and there's nothing special about this animation. It's just stuff you can find online that's already kind of created, but you just need to put it together in a unique way. Like, they've added this bit, they're talking about the brain, so it does require some skill to edit it together, but this isn't difficult. It's not like you're developing a Disney animation or anything. So I mean, look at this. This is pretty straightforward. It's very elementary animation. So it just shows you that, I mean, this channel's got 2.68 million subscribers, and that's the goal, right? So these animations are a great way of creating a faceless channel. Now the next one is screencasts and tutorials. So kind of like the one you're watching now, but my face is here obviously, but I could have easily created this module without having to put my camera on and just explain something on screen with PowerPoint slides or whatever. But what you can do here is very simple. You could just record your computer screen to teach software, coding, or any kind of skills you need to show on a computer screen, which is pretty much most skills at the moment. And it's ideal for educational content, how-to guides, software reviews, and things like that. So if you're talking about tech, software, any kind of educational content, you can do it on screen. And all you have to do is just use a good voiceover, make sure you're explaining the concept right, and you just need to make sure you're using a good software to actually go through everything. And you can use software like OBS, which is Open Broadcaster Software, or Loom. I'm using Loom at the moment to record this particular video. And there's not a lot of editing, so you can see here I'm not doing a lot of editing for this video because I'm just talking over a concept and teaching something, and as long as you don't and ah too much, which I'm trying to cut down myself, it's pretty straightforward, and you don't need constant cutting and constant moving. But I could have easily created this video on a PowerPoint slides and just gone through it if I didn't want to show my face. Now there's tons of examples of these learning channels. This is an example of a Dreamweaver tutorial. Someone's just showing this on screen now. It has 30,000 views in this case, but there's tutorials out there with millions and millions of views. Like if you check out Khan Academy, that's a YouTube channel where he's literally drawing on an iPad, a drawing pad, and he's showing a concept on screen. So there's loads of these science, chemistry channels that are showing how to do something. There's loads of software tutorials. like all these Python tutorials, JavaScript. You can show anything on screen. If you've got a PowerPoint presentation, you can just talk over it. There's a good one on biology that someone's just going through a PowerPoint slides and just making it engaging, and that's pretty much it. So screen share videos are a next type. The other type is a podcast. So you could easily just create a podcast and kill two birds with one stone. So your main type of long form content is your podcast, but you turn the podcast into a video, and that's what you're doing with your Faceless channel. So what this is an audio podcast with added images and video for some visual engagement. So this is just repurposed podcast content for YouTube audiences. And the thing is that I know I do this, but I'm not sure if the people watching this do this. But I pick up YouTube, and if I see an hour-long podcast, I just put it on and listen to it while I'm commuting, whatever it is, or traveling, whatever. So people do listen to YouTube while they do commutes or while multitasking, and they use it as an audio thing. So it's not just Audible and Spotify. People just listen to YouTube podcasts as well. And the good thing about podcasts is that they have a higher average listen or watch time. People are watching it for longer times, because I've definitely been on podcasts for at least a couple of hours, sometimes an hour, 2 hours. It goes by very quickly when you're listening to a podcast for some reason. So what you can do here is interviews or topical discussions, and you can just enhance them with visuals. So you can actually use a software called Descript. So you can check out software called Descript. I'll put the link in the description, and you can actually turn podcasts into text visuals. And you can actually get an editor to just edit this as well. I'm going to show you quite a cool example I saw of a podcast, of a kind of true crime podcast here. So this is an actual podcast, and they've turned it into a video. You can see it's got a lot of views here, and this is what it looks like. This is the visuals on screen. So you can see here that the podcast is them talking, and that's what's going on the audio. But that's it. That's it. That's the whole video. It's just the podcast is now playing on here, and that's it. So pretty amazing there. So that's another type of faceless channel you can use. You don't need to show your face for that one either. Now what about product reviews and unboxing? So this is a big category actually. So you can actually focus on reviewing or unboxing products without even showing your face. You just show your hands unboxing something. Now I wouldn't recommend doing this for children. I wouldn't recommend creating any sort of children's entertainment channels, because it's not like you'll make a lot of money from it, because it's not something YouTube will be monetizing too much, because if you think about what state children are in, they're constantly switching from channel to channel while they are watching it. The amount of views they're getting is just from kids who can't necessarily make decisions, whereas advertisers are looking for parents to do that. So it's difficult to make kids channels work, and they won't necessarily be monetized as well as other channels, and that's why we don't recommend you do that. But you could talk about, like, for example, tech or cooking or drawing or that kind of thing, and you can do reviews by unboxing actual products that are in demand. And there also is potential for sponsorship, so you can be sponsored by a company and you can open their product live and test it and look at it and everything. And that also is affiliate marketing, where you promote products in the description of videos and people go out and buy that, but you show the product actually being used. So what you need to do here, you've got to make sure that there's good video editing. You can't just have you for 10 minutes without any editing, like opening a box of an iPhone or anything. You've got to have good narration skills. You can't just be silent. Ideally on the video, you need to be talking over it. While people are watching, it needs to be engaging. So you need to also have some close-up shots and detailed descriptions. Otherwise, there's no real point. And there's so much competition in these kind of markets that you need to be good at this kind of thing. So I'll give you an example of an iPhone unboxing here. This is an old iPhone, and you can see here that this is an example of an unboxing. This person doesn't show their face. They've unboxed an iPhone. They've set it up. They're showing how big it is. It's a 10-minute video of them checking out the whole phone. So it's quite exciting for people to watch. And that also has that satisfaction of opening a brand new iPhone. And you can see there's subtitles on screen as well, which is nice. But they've now set up the iPhone, adding apps, showing how it's used. And this person didn't show their face. And you can see here it got 500,000 views, which is fantastic, right? And these people have got almost 500,000 subscribers. And that was the video. So if you're enjoying this video, by the way, if you're getting value from this whole course, this full YouTube Automation Blueprint course, just make sure to subscribe to get more of this kind of content. You're going to get all the updates of this course, and you're going to get more free full courses when I do release them as well. So just hit that subscribe button as well. Now let's move on to the next one, art and craft videos. So you can actually showcase the creation process of art and crafts, and this is a big category as well, but not a huge CPM niche necessarily, but what you do is you focus on the hands and the materials being used, and this is ideal for tutorials, time lapses, or showcasing finished works. But they're quite addictive to watch, and they're very engaging for audiences interested in DIY or learning new actual physical hand skills. And what you need to do is just include a voiceover, someone talking over it, explaining what this is, or you can just put music over it if you want. But to be honest, I would say just put some talking over it and voiceover. You've got to have good lighting for this one. You can't just have someone in some dimly lit room, showing how to do something. It's got to be good lighting and good camera setup so it's clear to watch. You can't just throw this stuff together. But I'll give an example here of a drawing channel or a drawing video. So this it's just a sketch, and it's pretty nice to watch because the human brain, I think, just wants completion of this. They want to continue watching this, and this is why this has almost 500,000 views, and this channel's got 166,000 views because they want to see how this turns out, and it's quite satisfying to watch. And there's loads of channels like this that actually teach people skills, and you can follow along as well. So I'm sure they have people pausing these videos, watching how to do this exact skill as well, and they pause it and they end up with a fantastic photo. So you can see here they're not showing their face, but it's a very engaging video as well. So that's an example of an art and craft video. Now the next one is cooking and recipe videos. So what you can do is film the cooking process with a focus on just the ingredients. So you're not talking on screen like you are on camera, but there's no need to show your face, just the cooking action. Very fine to do that. There's no issue to do that, and it's very popular for recipe tutorials, cooking tips, food reviews as well. And then you can have some text overlay showing instructions of recipes, and you've got to have, again, good lighting, good camera angles, so that people can actually see what's being done. You can't just have one angle and then you're doing everything, because it won't really work. You've got to kind of put a little bit of effort into it. But there is potential for sponsorships here from food and kitchenware brands as well, so this can get quite big. Now, I'll give you an example here. And this is a foreign channel, but they've got 1.7 million views of this tiramisu video here, and they've got 7.73 million subscribers. So clearly they're doing something right, and people are watching this video here. Now you can see here it's kind of like cool to watch, but no one's showing their face here, and they're just making this recipe, and that's it, and that's the video. So that's an example of cooking and recipe videos. Now what about virtual tours? This is an interesting one, because you can just create videos offering virtual tours of various places. So that for some reason, for many reasons, people can't necessarily travel to everywhere they want to. There may be people who can't travel as much as they'd like to, and they want to see the world. So you can use video footage, you can use photographs, or you can even use 360-degree videos. And it's great for creating a travel channel, real estate showcases as well. You can show real estate in this, or educational content as well if you want to show museums or so on. And if you add narration, it can add that extra richness to the video as well. But you've got to get good editing together, otherwise it's just kind of hours of you walking around, which won't necessarily make sense. But this really engages viewers interested in travel, history, or architecture. So here's an example of a tour around Vienna that you can see here, and this is an hour 26 long video, and I'm sure some people do have this on in the background watching this as well, or just watch this quite actively. And you can see it's got 2.6 million views. So you can see people are very interested in this, and you do get a feel of what it's like. And you can see here this is a full tour. I mean, you may not be necessarily talking on this, but you get a full idea of what it would be like here in Vienna in the evening. Very, very interesting video, very engaging, and it's a nice video to watch. Actually, it's very pleasant to watch. I haven't been yet, so I get to see what that looks like. I'm sure many other people haven't either. Now, what about whiteboard explainer videos? So this is a very popular one for people who want to make money with a faceless channel. And what it does, and this actually is a model for many of the successful channels. What this does is utilizes simple animations that simulate drawing on a whiteboard. You may have come across them before, and it's accompanied by a professional voiceover or someone talking on the video. what the animation does is really, like I said with the drawing videos, it keeps people engaged as they anticipate the completion of the image, and they're curious about the next image that's going on, and they have actually gained popularity for their ability to explain complex topics. So you can take something complex and turn it into a very simple explanation on audio and a simple explanation on the drawing as well. And you can use software like Doodly or VideoScribe, and you'll get the links in the description of the video here to use to create these animations really easily. And the thing is, outsourcing is super easy for these videos. You can go to places like Fiverr to get these videos done, but that comes with a caveat that you can't create low quality videos too quickly, and you can't necessarily create these low quality videos because you've got to make sure it's unique, otherwise you won't get monetized by YouTube. So you can't have too generic or stocky images, and you can't have content that looks auto-generated. That's not what YouTube are looking for. You can't put low effort into this. It has to be original and your content. Otherwise, it may not perform well in terms of the audience engagement. So the audience might not be engaged in it, and two, YouTube may not monetize it, and you might have built up a channel. It might just get demonetized because it's just not good enough. So you've got to stay up to date. I'm not going to talk about YouTube's monetization guidelines here, but you need to check up and stay up to date because these whiteboard channels can get a little bit dicey. But I'll give you an example of a good one here. This one is called After School, and this is clearly unique content, right? So they're creating, this is a summary of the book Atomic Habits by James Clear, very famous book, and you can see here that they've actually created these images, and they're very unique. These aren't stock images, but they've really given a very concise and detailed and a very good explanation of the book in illustration as well. So this is a very good example. You can see they've got 3 million subscribers, and this video's had 1 million views. So you can see this is a great example of and they've interspersed here some ads as well for James Clear's book. So they might have done a sponsorship with it. So the last category is gaming videos. Now, gaming videos I actually don't recommend doing because they're so easy to create, and there's probably thousands and thousands, probably tens of thousands of gaming channels, and YouTube have a very, very low CPM for gaming. So what you can do is actually record and commentate on gameplay. You may have heard of this in the future. I'm not going to go through this in huge detail because I don't actually recommend doing this as a business. It's a good. I mean, you've got platforms like Twitch for this. I don't think this is a model anymore, but it is an option that you can record gameplay and talk over it, and it obviously is popular. These things do get millions of views, but at the end of the day, how much money are you going to make from it, and how are you going to showcase your unique video over someone else's? Because they're kind of the same visuals, and unless you're very, very good at it. So it did have a big market before in YouTube's early days, but probably less so now. So the next module in this course is about the multiple ways you can actually make money from your channel, and you're going to see the video on screen right now. So go ahead to check out the next module, and if you're serious about making money online, make sure to subscribe to my channel so you never miss my full step-by-step tutorials, and I'll talk to you in a bit.